If any team besides Golden State wins the title this season, it would absolutely be one of the most disappointing seasons in team history. If DeMarcus Cousins comes back healthy, the starting five of Curry, Thompson, Durant, Green, and Boogie will simply be unstoppable and not fair for the rest of the NBA. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Over the course of the 2010s decade, there have been plenty of teams who had high expectations but underperformed, leaving their fan base absolutely disappointed. Teams who were supposed to go far that were bounced early. Here are 5 of the most disappointing NBA teams of the 2010s era. Number 5, the 2017-18 Toronto Raptors. During the DeMar DeRozan era, Toronto has been near the top of the Eastern Conference from 2014 to 2018, only made one conference finals appearance during that stretch, leaving many to wonder if the Raptors were considered legit contenders or pretenders. After finishing with a franchise best 59 wins, many optimistic fans up north believed it was their year. After being humiliated by LeBron the previous 2 seasons, getting swept by Washington in 2015 as the 4th seed, and losing to Brooklyn in 7 games the season before, 2018 was supposed to be different. Former head coach Dwayne Casey won Coach of the Year was announced way after his firing. The team had a golden opportunity to make a deep postseason run as the number 1 seed in the East, knocked off the 8th-seeded Wizards in 6 games, while the Cavs seemed to be more vulnerable without Kyrie, coming off a tough 7-game series against Indiana. With Toronto well rested for Game 1, the Raptors were in control for much of that game, but had multiple chances to win the game at the end. Had a good look from 3, a missed bunny by DeRozan, and another missed tap at the basket by Valanciunas. Melting down when it mattered most, Toronto missed 15 of their last 16 shots. Fred VanVleet missed another 3, losing by 1, led by as many as 14 in the game. Got obliterated Game 2 with LeBron giving them 43. DeRozan was awful Game 3, going 3 of 12, finishing with 8 points, was benched in the 4th quarter. Kyle Lowry was the one who tried to lead a mini comeback before LeBron banked in the running one-hander at the buzzer to rip the Raptors' heart out, annihilating Toronto by 35 in Game 4 for a series sweep in back-to-back years. It was even worse when their best player DeRozan got ejected in the 3rd quarter for a frustration flagrant foul. At that point, the Raptors seemed to be the biggest fluke and nobody was feeling bad for them. Now with Kawhi Leonard, who's a way better player than DeRozan, the Raptors will look to put their past playoff failures behind and try to make a run to the finals in 2019. Number 4, the 2014-15 Los Angeles Clippers. The 2015 playoffs were a toss-up. While we all knew the 60-win Hawks team was overrated, Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving were injured for much of the postseason. Golden State was still young and inexperienced. Everything seemed to be going right for the 56-win Clippers, knocked off the defending champion Spurs in the classic first-round 7-game series. The team was under a heavy amount of pressure to make a deep run after losing to San Antonio in 2012, Memphis in 2013, and blowing a 15-point lead to the Thunder in 2014. Blake Griffin was expanding his overall game while DeAndre Jordan was becoming one of the best centers in the league. LA was destined to advance to the conference finals after blowing out Houston by a combined 58 points in games 3 and 4, had total control in game 6, up 19 in the 3rd quarter. It seemed like the franchise was going to make its first ever conference finals appearance, but the unthinkable happened, with the unlikely combo of Josh Smith and Corey Brewer scoring a combined 30 points in the 4th quarter, leading the comeback with James Harden mainly on the bench. A stunning 40-15 scoring difference in the 4th, crushing the Clippers' hopes, with Houston winning 113-110 in Game 7. A costly self-destruct performance where they could have beaten the Warriors in the conference finals and perhaps even win the championship, with Cleveland being short-handed. One of the most devastating season-ending meltdowns in NBA history. Number 3, the 2012-2013 Los Angeles Lakers. LA seemed to be in heavy contentions again after the accusation of Dwight Howard, a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year winner, the best center in the game then, and former 2-time MVP Steve Nash. Looked upon as having a big 4, the team looked absolutely stacked on paper, but Howard was coming off serious back surgery. Nash was 38 years old, way past his prime. Head coach Mike Brown was fired 2 weeks into the season after starting 1-4, with some talks of bringing Phil Jackson back, but Jim Buss decided to hire Mike D'Antoni, a huge mistake. Nash was forced to miss 2 months after bumping knees with rookie Damian Lillard in the 2nd game of the season, missed the final 8 games of the regular season and the first 2 games of the playoffs due to a hamstring injury. Pau Gasol had his foot problems and concussion, forcing him to miss 33 games. Had trouble fitting into D'Antoni's system, who left Pau outside the perimeter, forcing him to be a stretch four instead of using him in the post. Nash and Howard had their issues, with Dwight not being comfortable in the pick and rolls. The whole team as a whole simply didn't mesh. Started 17 and 25 overall, in jeopardy of missing the playoffs. Kobe made a promise: the team will make the playoffs. Single-handedly willed the Lakers to victory, played heavy minutes, took matters into his own hands, calling out plays, put up averages of 28.9 points, 7.3 rebounds, 8.4 assists, and 2.1 steals in 45.5 minutes played during his final 7 games of the season before rupturing his Achilles. The Lakers got swept by San Antonio in the postseason, with Dwight Howard getting ejected in his final game with purple and gold, left right afterwards, concluding a disappointing season. Number 2, the 2010-2011 Miami Heat, with LeBron taking his talents to South Beach, forming a Big 3 super team. LBJ's prediction of not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7 drew many mixed reactions. They were supposed to dominate every night, at least win north of 65 games, started out 9 and 8, finished the regular season with 58 wins, underperformed compared to LeBron's previous 2 years with Cleveland, winning 61 and 66 games with a way weaker team. Despite beating the Celtics and Bulls in the postseason, the Heat were the heavy favorites in the finals, seemed to be well on their way capturing the title. Up 15 in the fourth quarter of Game 2, collapsed at the end with Dirk hitting a game-winning layup, had the chance to close out Game 4 up 2 games to 1 with James only scoring 8 points, failed to take care of business in Game 6, losing to Dallas 4 games to 2. LeBron would later silence his critics, winning back-to-back titles the following 2 seasons. Number 1, the 2015-16 Golden State Warriors, winning a record-best 73 games, dominating the regular season unlike any other. They were looked upon as perhaps the best team ever if they were to win a title. The team was setting records left and right, started the season 24-0, with Steph Curry being the first ever unanimous MVP, nailed 402 total three-pointers, obliterating the previous record by 116 threes. Curry suffered an MCL sprain in Game 4 of the first round against Houston, missed the next 4 games, came back Game 4 against Portland, looked like his former MVP self, exploded for 17 points in overtime, dropping 40 in the win. After beating them in 5, OKC gave them a taste of their own medicine. Golden State had no answers for the duo of Durant and Westbrook, destroying Golden State in Games 3 and 4 by a combined 50 points. OKC out-rebounded Golden State by 30 those games, starved off elimination, surviving Game 5 120-111, looked to be dead in the water Game 6 before Clay went bananas, had a playoff record 11 threes in the game. Iguodala played great defense on Durant and Westbrook, who collapsed under pressure, forced the Game 7, escaping to a 96-88 win. It seemed like things were clicking for the 73-win squad, blowing out Cleveland the first 2 games by a combined 48 points, with Curry only scoring 11 in Game 1, 18 in Game 2. On their way to taking a 3-1 series lead, Draymond's action cost the Warriors big time, with the Cavs forcing a Game 6, held Golden State to only 36 second-half points in Game 5, blowing out the Warriors again in Game 6, eventually winning Game 7 in Oracle. Thanks to LeBron's incredible block and Kyrie's clutch dagger, the Warriors were held scoreless in the final 4.5 minutes, with Curry and Thompson going a combined 12 of 36 from the field in Game 7, melted down under pressure for a disappointing ending to a historic season. Regardless of the suspension, anything short of a championship that year was a failure. As a result, KD joined Dub Nation 2 weeks later, capturing back-to-back finals MVPs and looking for a three-peat. 2 of my most honorable mention goes to the 2013-14 Nets alongside the 2013-14 Knicks. Brooklyn, after giving up basically all their first round picks for KG and Paul Pierce, teaming up alongside Darren Williams and Joe Johnson, were looked at as serious contenders. Struggled throughout the regular season, winning only 44 games, losing to Miami in 5 in the semis, failing to make the conference finals. The team badly missed Brook Lopez that season, who led the team in scoring, played only 17 games, while the Knicks, coming off a 54-win season, were looked at as serious threats in the East. Started the season 21-40 overall, until finishing 16-5, winning 37 games, leaving them out of the playoff spot. The beginning of a disaster that would last at least 5 years. Who do you guys think's the most disappointing team of the decade? Is it the 2018 Raptors, the 2015 Clippers, the 2013 Lakers, the 2011 Heat, or the 2016 Warriors? Let me know in the comments below. below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I talk NBA comparisons, amazing storylines, NBA history, and anything basketball that will interest you. If you love the NBA, subscribe for more content, more great stuff coming soon. See you next time.